welcome to episode 3. I'm trying something a bit different today. It's nice and sunny, so I've got the camera in the garden and it's miles away from me, so that might mean that instead of looking at the little screen I actually look where I'm meant to look, or I might just do this all the time. Yeah, anyway, the dogs just come to say hello. The kids are off school, so they're only 10, 9 and 7, but they can all swear, so I do apologise if any foul language comes flying through the window. My dad's attached this bizarre huge microphone to the top of the camera, so it's probably going to pick up stuff that's happening up the street. The police are up there at the minute actually, so maybe something exciting's happened in this quiet, incredibly dull part of suburbia. Probably not. Right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've come back if you've come back for more, then well done. Why? And if this is your first time tuning in, hello and welcome and thank you. It's nice to see you. Yeah, the kids have already started screaming and trying to put me off, and it's really working. Hello! Little buggers, honestly. It's no good. I need a basement to put them in, don't I? A radiator to tie them to or something. They just put it off the wall, like it wouldn't work. I can't think of any method of restraint that would actually work. And anyway, I don't want to go down that route because it's quite minging. Yes, I'm sitting in my lovely garden in Durham, in the northeast of England. 3 children in the house who are just going to be creating bedlam, and a dog who will bark every time anything moves. If a snail moves at the top of the garden, the dog will go crazy. So I'll apologise in advance, or maybe I won't apologise. This is just the way it is. Yeah, so thank you for being here. You can find me on Ravelry at sylviebea, which is SYLVIEBEA, on Instagram as b_and_rose. Like I've said in the past, put the underscores in because I'm not sure what you'll end up with if you don't. On Facebook, just b_and_rose at Facebook, and I think that's it. Surely there can't be anything else. Surely. Yes, so anyway, I don't know how long I'll be gabbing on for today because I don't feel like I've done that much knitting, but then when I look at the table in front of me, it's kind of just a vast spread. So, yeah. Oh yes, and on the Ravelry group, thank you so much to all of the new members of the Ravelry group. It's really exciting. I feel a bit weird saying this and a little bit self-conscious. So, yeah, anyway, yes, thank you for being there. It's lovely and it's really exciting, and it does my self-esteem no end of good when you say nice things about the podcast, so thank you very much. Yeah, and there's a few of you on there, and I've been following you on Instagram for a while as well, so I'm a bit kind of like a bit awestruck and a bit starstruck, so if I say weird things it's just kind of anxiety, makes me type random words. Anyway, should we move on to some finished items? I'm very concerned that the neighbour's going to wonder what on earth's going on. I never have a monologue like this. I'm never on the telephone. I have proper telephone fear. There's nobody here other than the children. I don't have a proper conversation with them. Goodness me. So yeah, it's probably all a bit bizarre, but you know what, there might be some bathing naked nature. That's maybe a little bit more bizarre. And Cyril, also known as Squirrel, will probably be in his shed in a bit. Right, so finished objects. Right, I haven't finished anything since the last time I did this, which I think was 3 weeks ago, because I have weak and feeble wrists. I'm a proper lady, obviously that's what it is. I clearly wasn't born for domestication. I was born to be served. Oh yeah, whatever. Right, I'm going to show you this that I finished ages ago, but I absolutely love it. It's a Stephen West pattern, and it's called, let's shift all this out of the way so you can actually see, and it's called the Doodler, and I'm sure, I'm just checking out at the camera, I'm sure loads of you have made one of these and you've seen it before, but it's just smashing. Look at that. And I did this using the first ever skein of the sock yarn club that I dyed. I dyed it and I panicked and I thought, oh, I don't know if I like it. As I do with every single thing that I dye, I have proper kind of panics going on. But then I thought, oh, I'll just knit it and see what it looks like, and I think it's come out lovely. So yeah, there you go. There's the Doodler, and it's quite big, isn't it? Because I might put it on. I always feel better with something around my neck. Unless there's a child hanging on me, and I just want to get them off. But yeah, there. After 7 years of breastfeeding, I can sometimes go days without wanting to be touched at all. But a scarf's fine. Right, yeah, that's the doula, and it's really easy to use a short row shaping. So again, lovely. Stephen West patterns are just amazing because the hand painted yarn, it just makes it look like proper paint. And then he's got the holes in it, which I'm sure aren't meant to be called holes. Anyway, it's got holes in, and it's lovely. I would definitely recommend doing one of these. It's paid for pattern on Ravelry, but it's not that expensive. The annoying thing is though, if he modifies it or if he does anything different, like he's done another one with a chevron border, you've got to pay for it all over again. What's that all about? So yeah, pick the right one to start with so you don't have to go back and end up spending a fortune on patterns. Get some lovely wool and crack on. It's really easy. It doesn't take very long to knit. I've got my t-shirt on, I haven't ironed it, so I'm trying to hide it. It doesn't take very long to knit, and it's very effective, and lots of people go like, ooh, so yeah, you'll feel a bit special. Let's get one on the boil. Oh, and I want to show you this because I just think it's lovely. My poor old mum, well, not old, she was 62, she died 7 years ago when Annabelle was 4 weeks old. Sylvie had just turned 3 and B had just turned 2. But when she was here, she used to like to knit for the kids. Acrylic, we'll forgive her that. Look at that little frock, isn't that gorgeous? Can you see? It's got 2 little westies at the top and lace at the bottom. And Sylvie used to wear this all of the time, and I just can't imagine her being that small anymore. It's got a bit of ribbon. I've taken the ribbon out in case I lose it. I want to keep it safe. Yeah, my mum's lovely hands made this. So this is a keeper. I'm going to keep it forever safe and secure so the kids can see it when they're older. Isn't that nice? But I remember when she died, she had she'd made them loads of dungarees and stuff out of cotton. And I dug it all out, and that's all I dressed them in for weeks, everything that she'd made. I love that though. I don't know what the pattern is, I don't know where she got it from. It would have been very cheap. And it probably be, what, 1 or 2 balls of acrylic in there? She wasn't a high spender, my mother, because she hadn't out. So, but she was so clever. She would love everything that's going on now with all of the yarn and Ravelry and all of the knitting groups. It wasn't like that. Even a few years ago it was completely different. We had a knitting group in Durham, but it was a bit pants really. I think it used to meet very sporadically at the Botanic Gardens, and then it moved to a pub. But it just never seemed to be on. But now we've got 2 lovely yarn shops who both have fab knitting groups. We've got a craft noon at Usher College every whatever Sunday of the month that confuses the life out of me. And it's lovely, it's really nice, there's lots going on, and I've got to stop saying lovely all the time. I'm getting on my own nerves. I do apologise, I feel very out of practice. I thought that coming back to do this, I thought the more you did it, the easier it would get. How to lie to yourself doesn't. So yes, isn't that gorgeous? I'll have to find out what the pattern is and put a link to it because it's just lovely. Anyway, lovely, yeah. I thought I'd show you that. I don't know why I found it. Oh yeah, Mark was raking around in the loft. The dreaded husband was raking around in the loft and he was going to chuck stuff out. And he had it in a bag of stuff to go to charity. So of course I whooped his ass and pulled it straight out. I'll just pick a bit of crud off this before I show you it. This is a hat made using the tin can knits pattern. I can't reach the camera as well as what I can in the house. Can you see? Rose water. Tin can knits rose water. It's beautiful. I stopped myself that time, didn't I? And it's made out of yarn from Ring of Rosie in Whitley Bay. She hand dyes a lot of her own yarn. She sells it in our shop, and it's just the most amazing wool shop ever. It's fabulous. It's absolutely jam-packed full of stuff. My head in shot. It's absolutely jam-packed full of stuff, and a hand dyed yarn is beautiful. And it washes really well as well, which is a bonusy bargain. And I went in and she had a hitchhiker on the wall knitted in some of this, and I thought I'll have to have that, so she let me buy a skein of this. So I just held it double and made it into a hat. That's a lovely pattern, well worth it. Can you hear them laughing upstairs in the bathroom? That's the bathroom. Right. What else have I got to show you in terms of finished objects? Well, I'll show you this, but it's not a finished object. It's an aborted project because I got so sick. This is my Find Your Fade. I think I had this on last time. And it went all a bit boobs up. So I did it until this point here, when it's meant to kind of... be straight at one side and wonky at the other, but mine's just gone into this weird arrowhead shape. I can wear it, it's fine, I can wear it, but it's not what it's meant to be, and it's not as big as it's meant to be, but it's still bopping. And I do sometimes think, should I just pull it out and make that into a jumper for the bairns? But then that bit's quite canny, isn't it? Quite like that bit there. But I hate doing yarn overs. I hate it when you're just plodding along with your garter stitch and then you've got to stop and do loads of yarn overs like that. Anyway, if you buy the pattern you'll see it all anyway. Nah, didn't really enjoy it. I just felt like it was something that I had to do. I thought, yeah, I'll make this fab scarf and everybody will see all of my lovely hand-dyed yarn, and then I was just like, yeah, it doesn't work like that for you. Get over it. Put it away, do something else. So that's what I did. So yes, that's a nearly finished, well, it's a cast off, so I guess it is a finished object. But this one, I've saved the best for last. Is anybody doing Helen Stewart's Shaw Society? The second, because she's done it before and it was really, really popular. So this time, the night before the first pattern came out, I thought, right, I'm going to sign up. So I did. I panic dyed some yarn after I saw what she was knitting hers out of. And this is what I dyed. I think I might have showed you already. And I might have said all of this already, but you know what? Now, like a bit of repetition, is there? There you go, when the sun's gone in. I mean, yarn, I do apologise if you get yarn, because I always have my hair in it. Always. A little bit of me delivered just for you. My DNA will be all over the world. Right, so anyway, yeah, I panic dyed that, which I think I've already told you. And I showed you this in progress last time. And this is the finished article. Da, da, da. So, I think last time when I spoke to you, I was putting beads on using, what do you call it? Dental floss, which was fine. I thought it was brilliant. However, when my little mini tiny crochet hook came, it was like, wow, why have I been using dental floss? It's so slow, because when you do it properly it's really fast and it's just lovely. I made loads of mistakes, as you do. There's a random line of beads here that shouldn't have been here, but never mind, it's beautiful and you can't really tell. But I've discovered that as a bigger person living in a bigger body, I need to make everything so much bigger, because otherwise it's just kind of like, I want to wear it like a proper shawl and it looks a bit weird. It doesn't fit basically. So next time I will make it bigger. I did do this bit bigger than the actual pattern. And for the border, I did the border all wrong, but you can't tell, so I don't care. It's pretty enough. I'm happy with it. Oh, is it going to glint in the sunshine? Let's have some glinting going on, beads. Come on, do what you're meant to. No, I don't think it's going to. Anyway, it's very naughty. Oh, there, look. I've used Ginger Twist Studio, her hand-dyed yarn, and I think it's yak. As in the animal, not as in, yeah. And it's just beautiful. So, if you fancy knitting this, give us a shout. Because I've got that one left and you can see how it knits up. It's sparkly as well, it's got stellina in it. Just stopped there for a little while because I didn't think my head was in the shot, and do you know what, I think it might still not be, but I can't get the camera up any higher, so I apologise if I look a little bit headless. Yeah, so the Shaw Society 2 pattern, the second pattern in the series, came out this morning, which is really exciting. I didn't sleep very well last night, and then I'm thinking maybe it's because the pattern was coming out today, because that is the most exciting thing that will happen to me all day. My car's broken down, so we can't go anywhere. We've got no money, so we can't do anything. So yeah, I've been waiting patiently, not patiently, for the next pattern in the Shaw Society 2. And it's here! I think I showed you a while ago that I was planning to use, I bought this. This is Manos lace weight, and I understand that they don't make this anymore, so I'm quite glad to have it. And it's gorgeous, isn't it? It just looks like a shell, you know, like the inside of a shell. So I thought I would hold that double with a bit of Exquisite from West Yorkshire Spinners. This is a blend of Falkland Merino and Mulberry Silk, and I'm normally, oh, hang on, look, they look lovely together. I'm normally really not a fan of West Yorkshire Spinners. I think, why make something so pretty when you can make something so soft and lovely like the co-op knits or the coop knits. I'm never sure what it's called. I do apologise for getting it wrong. So I tend not to use it unless it's an emergency. And I don't use it for socks anymore because I used hand-dyed for socks. I'm not so keen on making plain socks anymore. Maybe times will change, who knows? But for the now, that's where we are. So yeah, I thought I'd use these two. So I've just got to motivate myself, because obviously if I'm going to hold them double, it means I've got to cake up 2 full skeins of lace weight, and they're like 800 metres or something in each skein, and it's going to take hours. I might have to employ some child labour and bribe them with ice cream. That could work. So yes, this is my plan, and this will be happening later today. I'm really looking forward to casting on. And I've got to get some beads in there somewhere. Come on, we need beads. Now I've got the crochet hook and the beads, I feel like they have to be in my life everywhere. Also, when I stopped the camera before, I popped up to the shed at the top of the garden, which is where I work. I am a shed worker, it is official. And I brought down these 2 lovely hats. These are both Tin Can Knits Rosewater. I showed you the purple one, so I thought I'd show you these as well. Just trying to get it in front of the camera. Man, I need one of those head blockers, don't I? But I think it would freak me out too much. Can you imagine waking up in the middle of the night with a big glass head staring at you? It was bad enough when I used to have me mannequin in the bedroom called Diana. Would say goodnight, Diana, just to make sure we didn't annoy her, so she didn't like turn into a human in the middle of the night and come and start lacerating our feet or anything. Yeah, anyway. Tin Can Knits Rosewater hat. And a yellow one, and this is made using Woolly by, is it DMC? Got it at the local shop, the what's it called? What am I doing? Woollabaloo. It's dead famous and I've been going there for years. Yeah, so got it at Woollabaloo, and it's lovely. But I don't think she stocks this anymore, Lucy, at Woollabaloo. And I'm trying my hardest to get a picture of it that doesn't look totally distorted, so it's not going to work. Maybe I should just get a child to put it on the head. It's a really lovely pattern. It's very satisfying. It's quick to knit. It's very easy. It's quite intuitive, I guess. Yeah, it's lovely. Really nice. And I think with having holes in your hat, it doesn't get too hot. Oh yeah, look, I could put it on my head and look even more ridiculous than I already do. Bring it on. Happy days. I think I did wear it in the winter actually. I hate wearing hats though. I feel like I just look like a match or a pinhead. It's all a bit distressing. So yeah, you see your body pattern? Anyway, they're really nice and dead quick and easy. But I've discovered that the woman who works at oh, I'm struggling with memory this morning. See, that's with not sleeping last night. It's all Helen Stewart's fault, and I still want to call her Martha. The woman who works at the knit studio the knit studio in Newcastle, Katja Franklin I think she's called. She's a designer and she's got loads of fantastic hat patterns on Ravelry, so I've been favouriting them all. So when it gets later in the year I'll buy a couple and I think I'll knit them, because she does lovely big slouchy hats, and the pinhead matchstick type scenario that I try to avoid can be overcome somewhat by a more slouchy hat. Tight fitting hats on a big lady are just, they're just not my bag, baby. I know a lot of people can get away with it, but I just don't feel comfortable. I don't like it. It's totally body shaming, isn't it? It's a ridiculous thing to say. Anyway, I don't like it. Whatever. Not my cup of tea. I like big slouchy hats. I think it's because I dream about having luscious long flowing locks. Anyway, that's never going to happen either because I can't stay away from the hairdressers. So yes, I've showed you my Manos and my Exquisite and my multitude of hats. So you've seen them. You've seen the Fairy Hill shawl, which I absolutely adore, and I'm going to use it like a napkin, and all of this stuff here. So I'm going to move on to works in progress, some of which I will finish, some of which I may never finish. Oh, first of all, you know how I was talking about the Find Your Fade shawl and how I felt like I needed to do one? I should have known it was all wrong, shouldn't I? Because I did start again. I started again with this baby here, but I got so fed up. I didn't want to have to buy another needle. I needed the needle, so I just pulled it off. There you go. If anybody fancies finishing it, send me a message and you can have it. There's no yarn coming with it though. It's just a half finished shawl and you have to pick up all the stitches. But you know, there are some weird and wonderful people out there, and I'm pretty sure that somebody will adore picking up stitches. It's like when you talk on, say, on the Winwick sock Facebook page about having twisted yarn, and loads of people are like, I love untwisting yarn. It's great, isn't it? Brilliant when you can just send off your odds and sods and get somebody to sort it out for you. It's fab. Right, so works in progress. I am still, and I am working on this. I haven't totally given up on it. Oh no, some of the stitches have come off in the bag though. Oh, that's a bit of a knacker. Right, I'm still working on my Ellen and Odell cardigan, Touch the Sky, because it's utterly beautiful. Does anybody else just stop halfway through a row? I'm indiscriminate. If I need to stop, I need to stop, and it just happens. Anyway, I've put it onto straight needles because I love these needles. They're glorious, and I can't remember who they're by or what they are. But look at them, aren't they bonny? I love them. I think I talked about them last time. Oh look, and I've somehow got my knitting hooked over the end of it. Yes. So I've made a bit more progress. You see? And it's super pretty. And I think it's going to look gorgeous on Sylvie, and she keeps trying it on. In fact, if she comes out, I'll get her to... Sylvie! Anyway, she's just going to ignore me because she knows what I want. So it's getting there. It's still got quite a lot of length to go because Sylvie's quite tall. So in the pattern, you add increases to a set, kind of down the front, down the sides, whatever they're called, the bands, to make it as long as you want it to be. So I'm just adding more increases so that I can knit for longer. So otherwise this holy pattern, dead technical, this holy pattern will just end up taking over all of the stitches. So I need more stitches that haven't got that pattern on it so that I can make it longer. I guess I could just have all pattern around the bottom, but I don't want to do that because I've only just thought of it and it might not work. And I'm keeping this in a bag that I have made. This is hand spun, hand woven by me. It was hand dyed. There you go. And I wove this on my rigid header loom, and I had it over the back of the chair. Oh, I love that bit. The colours in it are just smashing. I had it over the back of the chair, and I thought, well, what can I possibly do with that that's not just going to mean it ends up getting sucked under the bottom of the sofa and never seen again. So I chopped it up and overlocked the edges because it had the potential to fray massively, and made it into a bag. And it's not very well made, but it's just for me. And the inside's even hand stitched, just top stitch it. I would never do it like that if I was sewing it for anybody else, but you know, when you sew for a living, sometimes shortcuts are the only way to get through actually having to sew for yourself, because it does rob the pleasure out of it a little bit. I'd love to make the kids loads of clothes, but I don't want to sit in the shed sewing on my own for anything that's not generating income, because it just, you know, it's like, and they're not wear them anyway, so it'd be a bit of a thankless task. Right, so I've got that one to show you, and in the week since I last did this podcast, I've taken on a bit of brioche, and I love it. I love it. But I totally didn't have a lot of pain in my shoulders, my elbows, and my hands, so I had to have a knitting rest, and I had a few days of not doing any knitting, and in that time I've just like abandoned this in the bottom of my bag. I'm trying to straighten it up on my needles, and I haven't gone back to it yet, because I think I do love it. And this yarn from Mother of Pearl is just adorable. It's Jacob, hand dyed Jacob, the grey and the yellow, and then I've got alpaca from the tweed alpaca from up in Northumberland, and then some of this random stuff that I bought in Be Inspired Fibres in Edinburgh, maybe last year or the year before. Time goes so quickly sometimes, I don't know. And I hadn't got a clue what I would use that for because I don't really like it. Look lovely in this game, but I'm not keen on it when it's caked. However, in this project it does actually look quite nice. But it's quite masculine, isn't it? And I can't figure out how I can go from that to pink or purple, which are my colours. And I'm just not feeling the love. So I might pull it out and start it again, or I might just keep it in my bag. Ooh, look, here's another bag. I was experimenting with different corners. This fabric is some of the fabric that I had manufactured about this time last year. It was designed specifically for baby wearing, so you know, if you're not familiar with baby wearing, one way of carrying your baby comfortably and beautifully is to use a very long length of woven fabric that's a specific width and a specific length. And I've been working with that kind of woven fabric for years, making it into a different kind of carrier. I've been cutting it and shaping it with straps and a waistband, or with a buckle at the waist and buckles at the shoulders, various different types of carriers. And I thought, oh, do you know what, the kids are at school now, I'm going to have a go at doing my own. So I did lots of designing, and I sent all my designs off to a mill near Skipton. It's really near to where Yarndale is actually, and this was one of the designs, and this is one of them. This is called Love It Ferns. So I chopped a bit up and I stuck some cotton on the inside to make it into a bag, and it's quite canny because you can use it as a little basket and everything fits in, so I'm quite pleased with that. I might eventually, if I feel like it, do some bags for in the shop, but I quite like the corners. Normally I would just do a boxed corner, but with this one I did like a folded corner, and I think it looks quite nice. So yes, that's a bag that doesn't see the light of day very much because it's in the cupboard under the stairs, housing brioche. Never mind, at least I know it's there. When I get really sick of the project and I know I'm not going to do any more, I'll probably just tip this onto the floor so I can use my bag. And my needles, of course, and my chaya goos. Right, so this one, and I haven't done any more yet. I'm really disappointed with myself, but I find that knitting socks on these tiny needles really hurts my hands. And I've got to be careful and go, just not do very much. So I'm disappointed that I still haven't finished the Vicky Bird Knit Night Linda sock. I'm going to show you it again though, because it's lovely and it looks beautiful, and this yarn and Vicky is just amazing. I mean, look at that, gorgeous, isn't it? She was doing a knit along for the Knit Night socks, and that ended yesterday, so commiserations if you haven't entered. Just knit socks, they're really nice, they keep you thinking, they keep you on your toes. Well worth a knit, love it. So I still haven't finished it, but it's there. I think I've done about 20 toes and started knitting about 10 pairs of socks since I last did a podcast. I've done loads of stuff and then just pulled it out because it hadn't worked. You know, when you feel like you really want to do something but you don't quite know what it is that you want to do. Like the birds that have just had a bit of a scrap. It's like, yeah. However, this, my final work in progress that I'm going to show you today, that I love, this is well worth it. I did buy this book, Kate Davies, inspired by Eiley, because I was desperate to do some colour work. Sirens, who goes to knitting group on a Tuesday night, I've talked about it before, she's just like a proper knitting genius, she's amazing. And she's knitting, she's got the Rowan Springtime knitting book, and she's doing this beautiful jumper. It's just unreal in felted tweed, so obviously it's going to cost her like £6,000 to knit it, but it's worth it because it's absolutely stunning, and she'll wear it all of the time. And she's not very big, so she can knit herself jumpers and they don't take forever. So I thought, oh, do you know what, I'm not making anything for Mark, he'll never wear it, he'll just felt it. I'll make something for me dad. So I bought this book after having a look on Ravelry for colour work and thought, okay Davies, why didn't I just go there straight away? So I'm knitting him. I'm going to cover the bits are writing over. I'm knitting him that. Can you see? Whoops! Where is it? There, look at. I'm knitting him that. Isn't it Bonnie? It's the one on the cover actually, that one. But I'm doing his in blues and things. And obviously I'll show you, so I don't need to tell you that. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I love colour work. I find it very easy knitting in two colours. I do it, I hold one bit of yarn the English way and the other bit continental, so I knit two-handed with colour work. And stupidly I put it on quite a long needle, so I think I need to change to 100 centimetres. I've got it on 125. So I would have the wool that I want to be dominant, I would have that in my right hand because it'll show up a little bit more, and then the other wool in my left hand around my fingers like that. And I just go, if I was doing two colours, I'd do, I don't know if you can see, two blue and then two white, continental style. So you never have any long floats at the back. I need to take that out straight away. I'll forget that I've done it. I'll be like, what is going on? You never have any long floats at the back, which I'll show you. And it just keeps you really nicely organised. So it's worth looking on YouTube, The Master of the Universe. So that's the inside, and you can see the floats are all short, so my dad won't get his minus hands stuck in anything when he's putting it on. You see? And then this, I'm so pleased with it. Phony little me dad. Mind, I think I'm going to have to stretch this to get it to fit him. However, and I'm knitting above gauge as well, and it's still a bit little, but never mind. I'm trying to get it to uncurl so I can show you it. See? So I wouldn't say that I've got tension issues, but the white is definitely a bit more puckered than the colour, and that's the one that I'm holding in my left hand. I've always got the Colorwork in my right hand so that it's kind of at the front of the work. But I think once it's washed and it's blocked, maybe not immediately, but when it's been washed a couple of times, it'll be fine. I've got a solitary bee living in the hole in the wall up there. It takes me ages to find it. You think you just know where it was, wouldn't you? You wouldn't think that an animal that can fly all over the place and then come back to where it knows it lives, would have to look for the specific hole that it lives in after it's been for like a mile away or whatever. No, don't go in the air vent, love. Go in your hole. It's your downpipe hole, I think. It's massive, massive bee. As long as it doesn't sting me, I don't care. So yeah. Isn't that funny? Alison, the lady who runs the Woolly Workshop in Durham, she was saying that she's got a nest of bees in her wall cavity and they quack. And nobody believed her, so Tuesday night I got my phone out, a little bit of 4G, and had a look for quacking bees. And they bloody well do, I tell you. Have a look on YouTube, it's fascinating. They just make all this racket, and it sounds like they're clacking. So this project isn't particularly portable, but I did buy myself a nice basket from Wilko's to hide in, so I keep everything together. And it's smashing, and I'll just get this out while I'm on. So yes, that's my Kate Davies vest for my dad. Hopefully it'll be finished. It won't take too long, but I find when I'm doing the Colorwork, because I'm concentrating, I don't focus on my posture or how I've got my hands, so I do get quite uncomfortable when I've finished like a long session. So I have to be careful with that, especially after having my hands all fastened up and stuff for a couple of weeks. I need to make sure that doesn't happen to me again. But it's my elbows that get really sore. Do you find that your elbows get sore? I think as well with doing the both hands, it's like you can feel that your elbows are moving around a little bit. Anyway, right, what else? I dyed this sock blank. It's a thing. It is what it is. I wish I put a bit more purple in it, but I didn't. And when I started to knit the sock, I thought, ooh, that reminds me a lot of a cat of somebody called Susie Sue, who's on Instagram, because her cat seems to be kind of half black, half orange. It's a gorgeous little thing. And just at the beginning, it reminded me of that cat. And it looks nothing like that cat, but there you go. That's just life, isn't it? So what I'm doing is I'm designing some socks, if I can say that. I'm basically using stitches from a stitch dictionary, trying to get the right count around a sock that can be sized small, medium or large, so that I can give them away as a freebie when you sign up to my newsletter. So this is one that I'm doing with little eyelets in it, which is quite pretty. It'll take me a while to finish that. And I've made it from a silk sock blank, as you do. Everybody needs silk socks in their lives, obviously. And then I've got this one that I'm doing now. I'm knitting over up for little Beatrice, and it's just coming on great. I'm really pleased with it. I would like to say that I'd experimented with doing the mock cables, different sizes, but actually I just wasn't keeping count of where I was. It's really easy to memorise, says she, after I've just said that I've made a mistake. But it is worth noting how many rows you've got. Anyway, whatever. It's pointless waffling on about that until you've seen the pattern. I'm just doing the basic cuff down construction with a traditional heel flap and a gusset. Because I do love toe-up socks, but I think that when I'm trying to write a pattern for my own socks, it's going to have to be cuff down, because I ain't no Vicky Bird and she's dead clever. So yeah, it's nice, isn't it? So I'm looking forward to getting that finished. I'll probably get that finished today, because I don't think we're going to go anywhere other than the park. And who doesn't take socks to knit at the park? I mean, come on. I'd love to see somebody else knitting in public. I'd assault them probably. I'd be so excited. I don't know. Probably grab them and get prosecuted for manhandling. Just the excitement would be too much. It's like when you see somebody else wearing a sling. If you're a baby wearer and you see somebody else wearing a sling, it's like this major event. Or it used to be. It's not so much anymore, because there's a proliferation of quite cheap slings, which I don't know how anybody wears because they look so uncomfortable. But yeah, there would be forums set up, like sling spot, and you'd write on the forum if you'd seen somebody else wearing their baby, like I don't know, fire spiral. Spotted a fire spiral this morning, or I spotted a base sling this morning. It'd be like dead exciting. It's not like that anymore though, I don't think. But they did do like jazz hands. Maybe we should have knitters jazz hands. If you see a fellow knitter, have your knitting in one hand, have your project bag in the other, and do some jazz hands, just for solidarity. You are not alone. Right, yes. And in terms of stash enhancement, there has been very little other than this, which I got by doing a swap with Suffolk Socks. Hello, if you're watching. Oh, so excited. I sent her some I'm getting a hair on me button, some of my cloudbursting 4-ply fingering weight yarn, and she sent me this gorgeous sock bag. So feels a bit weird when I'm doing my own sock pattern to think about using somebody else's sock bag, but look at that patch on the back, isn't that lovely? I think that would be smashing. So I'm going to use my own, and then once I've got the pattern sorted, I think I'll just use this actually, because it's really nice. The socks that I'm doing are only going to be for very lightly speckled yarn, or for nothing that's got like nothing that's got lots of heavy colour in it, because it'll just swallow up the pattern. But the pattern is mainly texture, so it'll still be fine. Yeah, so thank you. I love it. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to knitting with that, and it feels really nice, and it's just smashing. And other than that, I suppose I've just got kind of shop stuff to talk about, but not very much, because I haven't done very much dyeing lately. I've done some custom stuff, and I've posted that off, and I've done some dye to order yarn, and I've posted that off, and I did the new club the month gone for Katie in the Artist Club, so that's all happened. They've been posted out, and other than that, it's just like, that's it. I feel like my injuries have... Ooh, give us a shot. My injuries have kept any more knitting than that at bay, but that's fine. So, on that note, I think I'm going to leave you. Come on over to Ravelry and say hello. Let's see what you're doing. And I'm dying to see everybody's Shawl Society 2 second instalment scarves, especially yours, Wheels Wife. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. So, yeah, thank you for being here, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm sorry for waffling on. I feel terribly out of practice, and I'll do the next one a bit sooner, I think, instead of leaving it so long, because it's like starting all over again. Alright, toodaloo! Take care!